Would you like to have a career in racing, and if so, what would you like to do, Dale?
Well, I want to be a race car driver someday. That's, it's all I've ever known, racing.
What did you want to be when you grew up? So many people live a life of what if. Go to school, go to college, get a 9-to-5. This is how we support our dreams, with a safety net. Because we're unsure about taking a leap of faith. Because we're afraid. As we grow, we cross things off our list of dreams. We cut them down, make them realistic. Having control of things is reassuring. But for some, the rush of being out of control is what gives them life. Some say racing cars is reckless. Maybe they're right. Out of bounds isn't just cheating, it's cheating death. Football fields made up in seconds. Decisions made in instants. For the people that climb behind the wheel of these cars, they're not driving it. They become part of it. It's an extension of the body. As a child, I looked up to these people, faces hidden by helmets. The less you saw of the driver, the more believable it became that they were, in fact, just part of the machine. It's easy to forget that inside the cockpit is someone just like us, but with the mindset that fear is a motivation, not a barrier. But the reality is, race car drivers are not like us. They never cross anything off their list of dreams. They just keep writing more. Daytona.
This is the finish of the Daytona 500. Side by side.
Le Mans. Indianapolis. Monaco. Places that used to be just places, now international symbols of victory. To those that enjoy the spectacle of racing, the 2 feet of concrete and steel cables are a wall between us and them, between sitting in the grandstands and standing in victory lane. These same walls are a stark, immovable reminder that racing drivers put their lives on the line for the sake of the thrill and entertainment. Despite the risk, despite the heartbreak,
Oh my gosh!
despite the cost. There are some on the sidelines who are fascinated by the danger. They are fascinated by speed. Fascinated by the undying desire to be just a little bit better. Their dreams erased by geography, finances, or the lack of a famous last name. There are some who once wished to be a race car driver, but aren't, because they didn't get the chance. And they thought they'd spend the rest of their lives watching their heroes on television, or from the other side of the fence. They thought it was impossible to climb into a race car, so they crossed it off their list. But it's not impossible. There is a ticket to the other side of the fence. For those who want it bad enough, this is your chance. A little over a year ago, the SPEC MX-5 SimRacing Challenge concluded at its second round at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It's where we crowned a champion last year and gave one driver the opportunity of a lifetime to kickstart their real-world racing career using the iRacing.com simulator. Welcome back to the second season of the SPEC MX-5 SimRacing Challenge. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian Dcunha right here on the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel as we get ready to launch our fifth round of the 2020 season at one of the best American road courses that the United States has to offer. 2.5 miles and 12 turns of twists, turns, elevation changes, rises, curbs, red soil here, Finian. Tonight we go racing at where it all came to an end, and we have our last year's champion, DJ Alessandrini. He is not in the booth with us tonight. He's actually out there on the racetrack competing as a special entry tonight. So maybe he can repeat some of his 2019 magic.
Yeah, indeed, this is a really fun circuit. In fact, it was so fun we came here twice last season. One time middle of the season, and also, as you're saying, Kyle, that we came here to end the season. But now this is just a mid-season round, pretty much smack dab in the middle of the season, which is starting to heat up at the top, or was, until some major news coming into this round. Jonathan White, our points leader, is decided to quit for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and I think he actually did this last year as well. I believe he ended up returning. So hopefully he'll come back and join us for the rest of the season. But let's head down to the racetrack as qualifying is underway for our fifth round of the 2020 season. It was a few weeks ago that we actually were at Watkins, Glen International. That was an absolute barn burner of an event, Finian. Lots of great racing there. A very similar racetrack here, albeit in a very different part of the country. Road Atlanta is a 2.54 mile, 12 turn road course. Lots of elevation changes, lots of fast sweeping corners, and one very long back straightaway where these cars will accelerate to over 125 miles an hour. And we've got two sprint races tonight where we're going to line up the second field with the finishing order of the first race. So a lot of really interesting things to happen tonight. Qualifying is underway right now. We want to thank our sponsors, Level Up Racing School, Winding Road, of course, as well as Rick Motec, who's offering per race prizes to race winners in this field. But we mentioned one driver earlier, Finian, DJ Alessandrini, last year's champion. He won a whole bunch of races. He's back for more tonight at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta.
Yeah, you can see effectively at the top of the standings, pretty much right where he left off. The DJ always fast in the MX-5 machinery. Currently fourth on the timesheet. It's currently Paul Darling that actually just went up to the top ahead of Ken Ausiel and Luke Pfeiffer in third.
Now, Paul Darling and Ken Ausiel, they were the ones that were battling up at the front all last week. And Ken in the 94 has been one of the most consistent drivers this season with a couple small issues with some penalties early on in the season. He's gotten that cleaned up, and time to go racing tonight in his 94. Currently sits second on the timing and scoring. Luke Pfeiffer in the blue 06. He has been also having some pretty good races lately, Finian. What are the chances he can work his way up inside the podium in the points championship?
I mean, I definitely, it's going to be a bit tough for him. He's all the way back, trying to look back in 11th. His beginning of the season just was not that good. It was kind of, especially at Charlotte Roval, where he struggled, not a single finish inside the top 10 for him. But at Watkins Glen was very consistent last week, or sorry, 2 weeks ago, finishing fifth in both races. So yeah, he's looking a lot more consistent, and also the speed is definitely there. Currently third in qualifying. We'll see if he can remain there, and again, get his first win of the season as well.
So riding on board now at the 94 of Ken Ausiel as we accelerate onto the back straightaway, and this is going to be the big passing zone tonight, Finian. Is using the draft on the straight into the chicane at turn 10A. We'll go over what the track map looks like here in just a moment, but there's really a couple different passing zones on this racetrack, but 10A, 10B, the chicane here at the end of the backstretch, is your best opportunity. I just don't think that it's a cut and dry pass if you get down here because of how tight the chicane is. You can really set up a pass on corner exit as well, and we saw DJ really learn how to use this move expertly last season.
Yeah, and as you're saying, it's not going to be said and done. You definitely have to work for it if you want to make the pass. It's very, I would say it's pretty easy to set up a pass using the draft to your advantage, but again, you're going to pretty much still be side by side along with your other driver, and it's difficult to go side by side into that chicane. We've seen a lot of contact coming from that in multiple series when drivers come down to that corner, so you got to be careful heading down to there.
Let's take a look at our track map for tonight's event, Finian. Again, I mentioned it earlier, 2.54 miles at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It all starts with a relatively short front straightaway that leads into an uphill sweeping right-hander. You're going to feel the compression in the race car, get the car turned in, clip the apex late, and then climb up the hill towards turn 3. You're going to jump the curve and then head down the mountain towards turn 5, the left-hander that leads into 6 and 7, Finian.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to make sure you got a great exit out of turn 7 because that's going to set up for the massive back straightaway. And you can see you go up and then come back down through turns 8 and 9, heading towards turn 10, A and B. Again, we're going to see a lot of passing occur there tonight, up through turn 11, go all the way down, back down the hill through turn 12, and you're going to end up back at the front straightaway, completing a lap at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, and turn 12, again, that sweeping downhill right-hander that we were just taking a look at right here. This is a really scary corner in a faster car. In these cars, it's pretty much flat. You'll even see drivers running maybe 2 and maybe even 3 wide down here because it's actually deceptively wide. It's actually, you can see right here, the pavement lanes across the racetrack. That's 1 car width, 2 car widths, 3 car widths, 4 and 5. But you see how it narrows down here, Finian, and this is going to funnel everybody into the front straightaway and make for a really interesting finish if we have a group of cars all together.
Yeah, I was going to say, if guys end up coming 5 wide down the hill, someone's going to go flying up into the air. I'm calling it now if that ever happens. It'll be amazing. But we have definitely seen 3 wide, and even then it's been very sketchy when we've seen some wrecks occur from guys trying to take opportunistic passes out on the final corner. One
driver that had a pretty good week last week at Watkins, Glen, was Chris Taylor in the 53, fought from deep in the field. Right now, he currently sits 16th best with a 141.314 as his best time, as he heads now through turn 5 and into turn 6 and 7. These 2 corners kind of twins in a way here, Finian, double right-handers, but turn 7, perhaps the most important corner on this racetrack because it sets you up for that long straight. We're right on board with Chris Taylor here as he heads into it.
And again, you want to make sure you see Chris Taylor take just enough amount of curb, but doesn't compromise his exit. And you can take it again 2 different ways. You can try to prioritize the exit, but you're going to lose a lot of the beginning of the straightaway speed. You're going to have to pick that up, and you can open yourself to guys being passing behind you. And again, these guys are going to be in pretty big packs for the most part, unless there's a big wreck early on for most of the race because of the straightaway, keeping the using the draft and keeping these guys close together still.
So DJ is going to be a disruption here tonight, Finian. Remember, he's our champion from last year. He's not running for points. And again, remember what's at stake here, the drivers. Whoever wins this season championship will get the opportunity to test one of these NC MX-5 Cup cars in real life at a racetrack of their choosing at an invitational event in the SPEC MX-5 Challenge season in the real world. So there's a lot on the line. DJ has already won that opportunity, and because of a multitude of reasons, including the pandemic, he has not yet gotten his chance. I think he was originally scheduled to run at Summit Point Motorsports Park this spring, but it's going to have to wait a little longer. However, he is not eligible to win the prize. He can't double dip. So he is just here for fun tonight, and he told me earlier in the week that he wasn't going to lay over and let these guys have at it. He's going to go out here and try to win, and that's going to be incredibly disruptive to the people in the championship, and wouldn't be surprised to see some fenders rubbing towards the end.
Yeah, and you can absolutely definitely see, I can imagine some guys, especially, fighting for those points, because again, now effectively, Ken O'Seal is going to be our points leader coming out of this round. As it stands, could go horribly wrong for Ken, but we have to see. But guys like Paul Darling, for instance, trying to make up points, those are still valuable points. You don't earn a whole lot, so every point's going to matter at the end of it, and I'm sure some guys are going to be a little bit annoyed the fact that DJ's in there taking up the points that effectively they could potentially use. So that's how some guys are going to see it. DJ not going to care, not going to give a care about it. He just wants to get on there and win.
Well, there's a couple trouble spots around this racetrack that I think we should discuss. One of them we're looking at right here, the exit at turn 5, Finian. There's a little bit of a rumble strip out there and some extra pavement. The racetrack is on this side of the line. All this is fair game to use. But when drivers use this, they typically get the car unsettled and can go around for a spin, and there's a lot of walls to hit over in this part of the racetrack.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of exits coming out of this corner, effectively blind for these drivers. So you come up here, come up through a hill, and then you might just find a car sitting in the middle of the track, and hopefully you're able to have enough time to avoid it, but a lot of times drivers don't. So again, it's going to have to be a lot of careful driving, especially in the opening laps with the colder tires.
Another trouble spot potentially is, whoa, you see right there, big slide. There's a car in the wall, and that's what I'm talking about. It's so easy to get the car unsettled. Turns 1 and 2. We mentioned how fast this corner is. It's so easy to drop a tire off here on the left-hand side of that curb you see on the right-hand side of your screen. As soon as you drop a tire there's no grip on this grass. You're going to go for a long slide, and it's a concrete barrier over there. No tires, no safer barrier. You hit that wall, your day's going to be over.
Yeah, and effectively you see a grass in this corner, you can, as you're saying, kiss goodbye trying to get back into the track, and if you try to get back on, you'll be pretty much by turn 3, and that's not going to be too fun joining back in the racing line.
On board with Ken O'Seal as he climbs up the hill, taking a look at your current provisional qualifying order. Darling, Hausiel, Pfeiffer, Alessandrini, Saxon, your top 5. Big jump over the turn 3 curb, and that's another place that you're going to have to be aggressive to make time. This big anti-cut curb, I see Chris Taylor really miss it there. It's all commitment or no commitment, because if you miss this curb, Finian, you're going to be way slow. If you absolutely murder it, you're going to be going pretty quick around here. You just have to avoid cutting it completely because you'll get yourself a penalty. And we do have Ryan Cobb, the steward, watching out for that tonight. So keep yourself on track.
And you see everyone there just absolutely jumping over the curb. The red and white one took a decent amount of it as well. But yeah, as you're saying, you can't be half-hearted through here. Otherwise, you're going to completely miss the apex and go flying off, hitting those cones and off the track.
See a car down there that's already rolled to a stop. I believe that was Mitchell Peak in the 21 car. And this is a driver that maybe we would have expected to see farther up the grid at this point in the season. I think last season he had improved massively from race 1 to the end of the season. It seems like he's been sort of stuck in a bad rut lately. Maybe tonight's the night he'll turn around. I think Road Atlanta last year, the season finale, he actually finished up inside the top 10. So maybe tonight is his night, but right now, back in 22nd.
Yeah, for him so far this season, highest finish for him. It's only a 6th place finish at the Roval, so other than that, it's been not the best. He's had a lot of finishes way down the order, so again, hoping to change that and hope for the best for him in this race.
Well, here's Chris Henn in the number 33 car. We call him the postman because he likes to proverbially lick the stamp and send it. 30th place right now in qualifying, so maybe he sent it a bit too much and hasn't gotten a clean lap in, but he's a lot faster than 30th, and he's only going to get 1 more, maybe 2 more laps here in qualifying to show his stuff. And if he starts at the back, that pretty much dooms the rest of your night because you will grid for race 2 based on your finish of race 1, and I don't really see you making up more than 15 or 20 spots in this good of a grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Up and went up to 10th, so was on a decent lap, so that's significantly better than starting back at 30th. We'll see if he can improve even more than that, but again, even just 10th place spot, it's a lot better than where you need to be.
A new driver in the field tonight, I believe he is here as a non-points competitor. This is Aaron Johnson in the 37. He's been competing in the SCCA Esports Super Tour. He's also a Mazda Teen Scholarship Award winner and will be competing in one of the SPEC MX-5 invitational events later in this year. So good to see Johnson with us tonight. And right now currently sits in 8th, and he's been pretty quick in the SCCA Esports Super Tour that's run over on the SCCA official YouTube channel. And we also broadcast that. That'll be tomorrow night. We headed to Lime Rock Park with F3 and Global MX-5 cars, so see Aaron compete there as well. But here tonight sits in 8th. As John D. Allen, who has been a past competitor in the Real World SPEC MX-5 Challenge Series, as well as having some starts in Global MX-5 Challenge. He sits 11th right now, and he has started from the back most races this season, Finian, but 11th will be a pretty good starting spot relative to where he has been lately.
Yeah, he's been performing pretty well. I thought, if I'm not mistaken, did ran fairly well at the Glen. Yep. I'm trying to double check that.
I believe you're right. He did start pretty deep in the field, though. It took him a little while to work up there, if I recall correctly. But I could be recalling incorrectly. There's a whole lot of cars. We have 32 of them tonight, which is a pretty stout field, and definitely the level of skill has risen since last year. And here's Jesse Stevens in the 13. If this guy has not had bad luck, he's had no luck, because even last week, getting involved in a collision in the carousel, I believe it was with Paul Darling. It's got a new baby in the household over there, so congratulations to Jesse, but he has not had a perfect season, and I fear that you're going to need to be pretty perfect to win a championship in this series, and he's got a lot of points to make up on Hausiel.
Yeah, again, considering how consistent the top runners are, you're pretty much going to be next to perfect. And the start of the season was pretty good. You know, first I had a 15th place finish, not too terribly bad, but another first, third, 7th. The last 3 races though, 25th, 31st, and 28th.
Yeah, not a great string of races for him. As we head down to the racetrack, the first of our races. And this is going to be interesting. Now, so just so that you're not confused here, Finian, there was a new option added in the new build to add a short pace lap. Now, from my understanding, this happened in the Super Tour last week when we were here, this is actually bugged right now in the sim, so it actually is more like a lap plus 2 corners. So we're going to catch the pace car about turn 3 to 5. And the drivers will have to know that that's coming, and I hope that everyone else knows about this too, because it's going to be very confusing if they don't. Now, so that we're not going to see the pace car. It'll actually be over at the end of pit lane, and it's going to look like we're doing a standing start, but it will be a rolling start. We'll have about a lap to set this up, and it's going to give the drivers a little bit more time to kind of warm up their tires, Cindy, because it's going to be important to have your tires and your motor up into operating temperature. So let's have a look here at the weather. It's going to be 69 degrees in the air, 73 on the racetrack, Finian. So that's pretty good temps. If I don't say so myself, should be pretty cool for these competitors. Ready to run down the grid? Might have lost Finian here. Let's continue in just a moment. We wait for him to return as we get ready for round number 5 of the 2020 SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge. On the front row tonight, it's going to be Paul Darling, the number 55 out of Michigan, and Ken Seal in the 94, starting in second from Pennsylvania. He's had a solid, good week. We'll see if he can improve on it. DJ Alessandrini returning after winning the championship last year. He starts third out of Cleveland, Ohio. Luke Pfeiffer starts in fourth. Nathan Saxton will roll off in fifth place in the number 41. Jesse Stevens, after a couple weeks of some very bad races, rolls off in sixth. Michael Borden, seventh place in the number 42. And Aaron Janson in the 37 starts in eighth. Back in ninth place, row number 5, Tony Chow out of Ohio. Chris Henn, the postman from New York State. He starts 10th on the outside of row number 5. Row 6, John D. Allen out of Ohio in his number 02, and Nick Del Campo in the 15 starts 12th out of New York. 13th place, Ismael Basso in the 40 from California. Thomas Pressey had a great round at Watkins Glen, starts 14th in the number 24 car. Now Jack Sanchez 15th in the 23, Steve Ficacci in the 51 in 16th from New Jersey. Back in 17th, Evan Schickel in the 77 out of New York, and Chris Taylor from New England starts 18th in his number 53. Sam Scott in the 98 starts 19th tonight. In the Atlantic region, Gustavo Purgado starts 20th in his number 11. Drew Reinhardt starts in 21st in the 69 car. Alexander Lekowitz starts 22nd in the number 16. In 23rd, Kevin Zhu in the 43. 24th, Mitchell Peak in the 21, looking for some better luck after a bad start to the season. 25th, Justin Hall in the 64, and Brian Chabelski starts 26th in the number 12. In 27th, Ryan Wagoner's number 17, Corentin Dubois in the 76 starts 28th from California. In 29th, Brian Sohn, the Penguin RC Simulations number 30 out of California, starts alongside Max Bauman in 30th place. Rob Level starts 31st, and Scott McIntyre in the 01 starts in 32nd. That is your entire field tonight as we grid up and get ready to go racing for round number 5 of the 2020 SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge. Pace car leads the field down the back straightaway now. And Paul Darling will get lane choice, will likely take the right side lane as Ken Seal moves to driver's left. Then DJ Alessandrini, last year's champion, had tears in his eyes only a couple months ago when he won himself the opportunity to test one of these cars in the real world. Due to the pandemic, has not yet had his opportunity, but he will. He's also a current competitor in Grid Life Touring Cup, drives a 2006 Honda Civic Si in that category, and has an average finish of about 3.8, so he is really talented, not only in the sim racing world, but also in the real world environment. So through turns 10A and 10B, some of the best passing opportunities on the racetrack. Again, my name is Kyle Heyer, joined soon by Finian Dcunha, working over some technical issues over in Long Island, where he is based, as the field heads up the hill now and back down for our first race of the night. Round number 5 of the 2020 SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge. Darling, Seal, Alessandrini, Pfeiffer, Saxon. Your top 5, 20 minutes on the board. Green flag in the air, racing from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Michael Borden already sideways through the grass. 3 wide through the middle of the field, 4 wide as they head down to turn 1. That's not going to work. John D. Allen swarmed on the inside lane. The 42 of Borden in the middle. Oh, Jack Sanchez, big slide through turn 1. Welcome back, Finian.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected there. I joined back in some absolute chaos here on the start, guys. 3 wide up through the first few corners here into turn 3 for the first time.
Side by side as they head down into turn number 5. Paul Darling is free and clear. DJ Alessandrini has slotted himself into second place. It is an absolute hornet's nest. Not a single car contact through turn 3. That is amazing. Some drivers way out of line. Cars in the gravel at the exit of 5. Finian, big slide for John D. Allen, but so far so good as we make our way to turn 6.
I am honestly amazed we did not see a wreck there. It looked like there was going to be a massive one through turn 3 with these guys. Again, excellent drivers in this series, keeping it clean for now.
Through turn 7, look at the run Alessandrini gets. An amazing run to the inside of Paul Darling. Now has a look to driver's right. Darling can't defend. He's already got overlaps side by side for the race lead. DJ won this championship in 2019. He's here tonight to show us why he deserved it. red versus yellow on the back straight, climbing into 5th gear and maybe even thinking about 6th, 107 miles an hour, closing in on 120. Here's Ken Alseal from 3rd, has a look. We'll see if he stays in line.
Yeah, gonna follow on through with Alessandrini, maybe try to get side by side with Darling, but Darling gonna slam the door shut into turn 10.
DJ taking no prisoners here. The field crosses back over. Everyone else now heads down into 10A, and everyone's very orderly in single file. Nicely done. We've seen a really good rash of races where everyone's behaved on the race starts, Finian, but our front 3, these are the 3 drivers I think we have to look at as the favorites tonight.
Yeah, and you see side-by-side action between Chris Henn and
Johnson.
Johnson, thank you. Side by side down the front straight.
Oh, car off!
Turn 1, trying to make a move.
Del Campo way off in turn 1, chops across the nose of Tony Chow. That was almost an issue there. Behind them, Michael Borden, who was already sideways on the start of the race. He's gotten back through into 12th. Now look at John D. Allen having a look at Del Campo, but dropping a wheel on the entry to turn 1, never an advisable place to put a tire.
Yeah, absolutely. Did a great job saving that car, and not an easy thing to do. Just kept calm and kept driving in the right direction, so he's going to still maintain his position, not going to lose anything from it.
Leaders all the way back to 5th place. Luke Pfeiffer through and out of turn number 5. Then a run down to 6. Woo, that's the 53 of Chris Taylor. Almost found himself in the tire barrier at the exit of the corner. Way in the back, there's Jesse Stevens in the number 13. He started the night in 6th. He's dropped all the way back to 19th, so there has been some contact here, Finian. We didn't see what happened to this car, but he's got some pretty sizable right side damage on that machine.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not trying to see what happened to him as well. Can't quite find it, but now he's got to work his way, no matter what happened, got to work his way back up to the front.
In behind in the 69 car, Drew Reinhardt in the 22nd position, fighting with Gustavo Pergato. Back up at the front, though. Our front 3, they're pretty much line astern. I don't think they're going to fight and battle too much. They know how these races are supposed to look. They're not going to battle. Behind him, though, Michael Borden is going to step out. He will have a look at Ismael Basso into 10A, and to the inside he will go and pass. That's for 11th.
He's going to try to get a run. This is going to be trickier if you try to go side by side through turns 11 and 12. And you see them now. This is where we're talking about the track getting really tight here. These guys just maintain enough space between each other. And you can see it gets very hairy. But here comes the run, side by side.
And that was Thomas Bressy that took a big chunk of curb on the inside and managed to get on through. Ismael Basso. Fakacci will take advantage. That's who we're running on board with now. So far, so good there. Look at this mess into turn 1. Justin Hall in the red car. Then it's Kevin Zhu. Then Drew Reinhardt behind in the orange-flavored machine. Up the middle, 3 wide. That ain't going to work. He backs out. Remember that the paint schemes with the black base color, those are returning drivers to the series. The ones with the white base scheme are new to SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge for 2020. A lot of cars with the white base. Look at that, side by side down the hill. Ooh. Car off. That's Gustavo Pergato in the 11. Through the grass, gets it back on course. We'll have to drop a few positions as our front 5 make their way through turn 6.
Yeah, and then again, they're going to be the guys that everyone else is trying to catch up to. Speaking of which, looks like I'm trying to find Chris Henn's trying to catch up as he just got past Johnson.
Yeah, so Johnson, I love the color of this car, and we got to thank Stephen Burbage in the who's done all the livery and the paint pack work for this entire series, and Night Fox Designs has put all this together for us, and they look amazing. Specifically this 37, the highlighter yellow color, has a look at Chris Henn. Henn is up into 6th after starting in 10th. Johnson right on the tailpipes as they head into the braking zone for 10A.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that these guys are fighting. If they can stick single file, there's a good chance they can catch back up to our leaders. They just got to make sure that they don't fight with each other again, and I'm curious to see now with Chris Henley in the pack if they can all kind of follow on through, catch back up to our top 5 as they're trying to drive up into the distance.
Again, I don't really know if they're going to have the pace. These front 4 or 5, even line astern like this, are going to be so much faster. The talent level in this group is just absolutely absurd, especially in that race leader. We've seen him win a championship. We came to this racetrack twice last year. Is that helping DJ having a little bit more experience at this track in this car?
It definitely gives you a little bit of a one-up, although I would say he's just in general, the amount of experience he has in this car has lent quite a bit to the way he's performing here tonight. You can see them running very calmly in that top 5, and that's the key thing too, is the fact that they're not battling as well. It's going to make it a lot harder for Henn to try to gather up some sort of speed to catch up to these guys.
Well, there's Sam Scott and Jack Sanchez, the 2 green cars at the back of the shot. There's Jesse Stevens in 19th. How about Evan Schickel up the outside in turn number 6? That's a hard place to make a pass, but he's going to set up Ismael Basso into turn 7 as a dive up the inside. Basso leaves in space. Over the curb goes Schickel, runs him out to the exit. And now they get re-cleared again, so Basso hangs on to 14th.
You can see the better run that Basso got out of the corner, was able to drive a little bit away from Schickel, but Schickel not going to get in that draft and try to get back alongside her on the attack of that 40 car. Speaking of action up ahead, Bresci and Tony Chow side by side. They're heading towards turn 10.
That's Thomas Bresci on the move, and again, I think his experience, he comes sort of from the oval side of iRacing and spends a lot of time in stock cars. Think back to, he runs a league called the Fuel Racing League, and if I recall correctly, didn't they run Road Atlanta in the Xfinity car a couple of weeks ago? So he's got a little bit of experience at this racetrack in particular, in a car much heavier. When you transition to a car that's this light, about 2,400 pounds, that's going to make this car just feel like a feather and be a lot more able to make moves with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You see again the leaders running nose to tail effectively, and this is going to be the curious thing. We always talk about this, with our leaders. When are they going to start making moves? Is it's going to do it midway through the race or in the final few laps? Paul Darling sitting in second, and Darling really needs, again, we were talking about points. Darling needs every point he can to get to Ken Alcillo. There's a bit of gap between them. I'm trying to look here. It's about a 36-point difference between Ken Alcillo and Darling, so Darling needs to start making some inroads. Well,
the problem is that these races have sort of become, I don't want to say predictable, but there's definitely a formula on how to win one of these races, Finn, and I think you got to be second place. Except if you're behind DJ Alessandrini, then your goal is to beat him at any cost all the time. You can't wait until the last lap to try to beat DJ Alessandrini because he will beat you. So you have to figure out how to keep him behind you, but you're going to have to bury him more than just second place because he knows how to win a race from second or the race lead. So I think you got to get DJ shuffled out, and everyone behind in Hausil, Saxon, and Pfeiffer, they have to be willing to work together to keep DJ back. I mean, again, he's not here for points, he's just here for the guts and the glory and to get a post-race interview, as we all laugh about that with DJ. But this is a very crucial time for Darling and Hausil. If they can gang up on Alessandrini, that's the only way they're going to keep him out of victory lane tonight.
Yeah, so looking at Chris Henry, you see him there, he's kind of by his lonesome, starting to break away from the pack, kind of finding himself in no man's land as he's getting away from John Sohn, and then Del Campo and Allen in behind also trying to fight it out. You can see they're getting really close to each other, and a big dive from Michael Borden into turn 1.
Yeah, Borden also had a really good race here at the end of the season last year. Look at John D. Allen taking a swipe at the rear bumper, swing and a miss as they head into turn number 3. Big jump over the curb, great battle there. That is for 8th place as now they head down the hill with Michael Borden putting all sorts of pressure on Del Campo.
Yeah, this is a difficult place to try to, do anything. There's very much just follow the leader, and then maybe out of turn 5, you can try to get a little bit of bigger exit. Wow, Borden absolutely went flying over the curb there.
Well, in these cars, the suspension is compliant enough where we can get away with that, as we see in the background. Was that Chris Taylor again? Got to take a look at that replay as he came up over the exit of the turn 5 curbing. How about this? Watch how close he gets to the wall there, Finian. That's about as close as I think you want to get. Here's another look coming up over the crest here in this black and white car. Oh my goodness, that's a 1.5 feet. There's also, I think, was that behind him, Jack Sanchez in the 23. Too close for comfort there for me.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's paved there doesn't mean you have to use the pavement. And as you saw there, it runs out really quickly and there's a wall. So fortunately, it didn't make any contact with it.
Into the braking zone for turn 10A. Line is turn 1 through 5. Then we'll jump back to 8th place again, or make that 7th. It's John Sohn in the highlighter yellow number 37. Then Del Campo in the graphic rush car. Michael Borden right behind has a look down the hill into turn 12, side by side. Not a corner that I would strongly advise this maneuver, but there is enough space to do it if you're real brave as they slide inches apart at the exit of 12.
You can see how confident Borden is as they almost make contact on the straightaways. Del Campo's trying to make him back off, but Borden going to send it again into turn 1. This is his favorite passing opportunity. Forget turn 10 as he gets another one done.
Oh, and Del Campo tries to shut the door on John D. Allen, who had a great run up the outside lane. Door closes. Look at the car unsettled. Oh, Allen misses the apex for 3. Look at how much he lost. About 6-7 car lengths just from missing that curve in turn 3. You have to hit it. You have to nail it to make up time. Del Campo's right back on Borden as they head down to 5.
These guys running nose nose to tail here. Right in behind, we're looking on with Nick Del Campo trying to get a one-up on Borden here, trying to have a look at maybe into turn 6 or 7. Up ahead of them, I see some side-by-side action between Ken Alcil and Nathan Saxon making a move into turn 7.
Oh, Saxon has a good run here, and he's another driver that's been really on just the outside of the top 5 in some races, and if he's not 5th, he's 4th, and battling for a podium spot right now with Alcil, but that battle has fizzled. And look at that, 5 car lengths between Alcil and Darling. So the front 2 beginning to break away. Darling and Alessandrini have raced each other for hundreds of hours.
And right in behind them, Luke Pfeiffer missed his shift down the straightaway. We talked about how important this is. Look, he's fallen into the clutches of Chris Henn, who's been closing in quite a bit on our leaders. He's going to have a massive run here. Maybe a look down at turn 10. No, he's going to back off.
Well, Chris Henn was the fastest driver last lap through a 140.8. That was about 0.7 of a second faster than your race leader, TJ Alessandrini. So the postman is coming as he heads down the hill through turn number 12. 8 minutes to go in race number 1 of the night. We'll do it all over again in a second race. 20 minutes gridded by the finishing order of this one right after the conclusion of this race. So there's more still to come tonight past the remaining 8 minutes here. Pfeiffer has Chris Henn all over his rear bumper as they head up through turn 1. He drifts wide, Henn's coming.
Yeah, and a much tighter line, gonna have some momentum again in order to really go here by the time to get to turn 3. Again, this is a matter of getting a better exit than your competitor here as you see them both jump the curb and is gonna try to just follow in the tire checks here through the S's.
And again, these drivers from all over the country, as they, we had drivers from California and New York. Alcil's wide at the exit of 5. Did he get the wall? If he didn't, he was close.
He was really close. The stick kept it still on the track, but it cost him a lot of momentum. Saxon again eyeing up a pass down into turn 6 is not going to do it this time.
Let's go back and have a look at exactly how close that was, because it was a little bit too close for my liking. We've seen a couple drivers cut it. Here's on board with Ken Alcil as he comes through 5. Gets the, you see the big correction there out to the right, slides through the gravel. Just keeps it on the pavement, but that's a big, scary checkup moment for Alcil. And that was really the trouble spot that we outlined before the race. There's pavement out there, but it doesn't mean it's fun or useful to drive on.
Yeah, he could lose a lot of time as we saw how Alcil almost got passed by Saxon again. Heading down into turn 6 now. Is just going to have to try to gather it back up and try to catch back up to Darling and Alessandrini.
Look at how much he closes on the brakes, though. That was really well done. Clipping the curb on the left, clipping the curb on the right now, accelerating up into 3rd and 4th gear, down through 11 and 12. 6 minutes to go. That will be 4 laps remaining. Now Paul Darling is playing the chess match, Finian. Where do I put my car in the best place to take a look at the lead as Alessandrini has led every lap so far?
Yeah, I think you might see him maybe make a move, maybe on the second to last lap, or even the final lap itself. I think the big concern for him is the car behind him, Ken Alcil, and even for that matter, Nathan Saxon too. They're all really close together. If Darling tries to make a move, that could open up the door for Alcil to take that spot. If he doesn't, if he's not successful, and you can bet that Alcindrini is going to do the best he can to make sure it's unsuccessful.
Big chuck on DJ Alessandrini down into turn number 4. And we're going to crest the hill at the exit of 5. Watch the camera pan over as the field comes out from behind the wall. And we have lost our 5th place car, Pfeiffer, about 1.6 seconds back into the clutches of Henn. They've been distracted with each other and have completely lost the draft with 4th place Saxon. So I would reckon that one of your winners will be from this group.
Unless something else happens here, which it definitely could. These races always take a turn for the worse in its final moments here, especially when guys start to get aggressive. But this group, again, Alessandrini, Darling, Alcil, we've seen these guys together for quite a while in several different other series, so very comfortable racing with one another.
And here comes Paul Darling. He's sitting on it. He lifted. You heard him back out of the throttle. I can't say that I like this move, Finian. I think that DJ knows what he needs to do to win this race from any position, but look how close he is into the braking zone. Alcil's there as well.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about there. With Darling lifting, he was trying to just coast him by Alessandrini. Meanwhile, Alcil still had the run, and it looked like he thought about making a move, but decided not to. Didn't think he had enough of a closing rate to make a move happen on that 55. But again, he's starting to get a little bit more aggressive here in the closing stages of this race.
Over 120 miles an hour into turn number 1. Alcil right to the tailpipes of the 55. Maybe a slight push there into turn 1. It's just a matter of time. 3 laps to go. Alcil tracks way out to the edge of the turn 1 curb. Now into turn 3. You're going to carry all this speed over the apex here. Nicely done for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. There's Pfeiffer, who's broken away from Chris Henn. Behind him, big slip up for Janson.
Yeah, up into the grass. This is what we're talking about. If you miss that corner, it's going to cost you a lot. It's going to drop down the order back into 10th.
And he was up spots from where he started. Now he's down 2. So with just one little mistake, he's got Thomas Bressi now fighting for a top 10 right behind him as they climb the curbs. Bressi was a bit disgruntled by a penalty that was handed out to him last week at Watkins Glen. So looking for a bit of a refresher this week and clear his head a little bit, get a solid top 10 run, but has some work to do. DJ has separated himself by 2 car lengths as they exit turn 7. This time by will be 2 laps to go.
Yeah, and part of me is curious if this is by design too, because the further back you are from the car ahead, the better a run you get. And if this is Paul Darling testing the waters, well, he's not going to be able to test as he's side by side with Hausiel down the back straight. Hausiel making his move for second place. Here they go.
And Ken Hausiel has put himself in position so many times this season, has a couple of race wins to his name, will walk out of here as the points leader. Look at him slotting himself into second. So this is why a lap ago when Paul Darling lifted, I didn't like that maneuver, because he's got a driver that's competitive in the points behind him who wasn't going to stay there. So now Darling is in third, and they've also lost time to DJ. So 2 laps ago this time by. Now maybe will Darling and Hausiel work together?
Potentially. I mean, they might have to, especially now that a new challenger is about to, well, reappear, I guess, for Luke Pfeiffer in behind in 5th. He's starting to catch up as Saxon makes a move to the inside of Darling to turn 1.
Yeah, that was a great move, an opportunistic one for Saxon. Oh, they touch for 3rd place. Darling and Saxon rubbing doors as they climb the hill into turn number 2. Darling will take 3rd spot back, and Saxon will back out. Pfeiffer is here again.
Yeah, but they lost a lot of time back to Hausiel and Alcindrini. That might be irreparable to build up that gap. You can see the distance they lost as they were heading side by side to turn 3, completely compromised their corners.
Now it's a 2-man fight. Alessandrini and Hausiel. These other drivers behind Darling, Saxon, Pfeiffer, too far back, I think, to do much with it. But the front 2, however, Hausiel has a pretty good gap up to DJ. He can use this draft now. I'm not quite sure that it's strong enough to take him all the way there unless DJ makes a slight mistake. But right there, Hausiel gets a much better run through turn 7. The gap is 5 car lengths up onto the back straight.
Yeah, I mean, Darling maybe it might have a shot to head back to Hausiel. He's got to be perfect, though, through this next section. And even then, as you were saying earlier, the ideal place to be is second place. And right now, that's Ken Hausiel sitting in behind Alessandrini.
Alessandrini leads this race. He's led almost every lap so far. Hausiel sits in 2nd place. Remember, DJ is not here for points. He's not eligible for the season prize because he won it last year. He gets the chance at some point to test one of these cars in real life. He's already won that opportunity. He can't double dip. Ken Hausiel, though, has not yet won the prize, and he wants to win it this season. We're in round 5 of 9 this season, and Hausiel will walk out of here as the points leader as things stand. White flag in the air. One more time around Mission Raceway Road, Atlanta. Hausiel closes up on DJ Alessandrini. Will he take a look to driver's right? He'll sit on it, maybe wait for later in the lap.
Yeah, I'll be honest, as far as he makes a pass before any corner, then turn 10. Any other passing opportunity is going to be back on the defensive down into turn 10 with Alessandrini in behind. So we'll see what he does here as he sticks him behind.
Now through turn 3, a nice run through there. All he's got to do is keep DJ within a car length and a half. Then he'll have a much better chance at passing him into 10A, 10B. I don't think that's your last opportunity. I think you can get him back in turns 11 and 12 if you time it just right, Finian. But that's going to be a huge challenge to do with someone as experienced as Alessandrini up front. As they come out, look at Darling. He's closed back up. He's back within striking distance.
He was absolutely charging through the S's, trying to make up time. He's effectively there into turn 6 and 7 here for the final time in race 1. Darling's effectively there, but what can he do being in 3rd place?
Well, he can push Ken Hausiel to the top spot and hopefully create a kerfuffle, and that might bring Paul Darling back into the opportunity to win this race. Bad exit for him at the exit of turn 7, though. Now the run on the back straight. One more run down this very long straightaway. Hausiel is right there. DJ's going to have to pick a line. He picks left. Hausiel's going to go to the right. Has to leave him space side by side for the race lead here, Finian. Half a lap to go at Mission Raceway Road, Atlanta for SPEC MX-5 SimRacing Challenge. Is he almost going to clear him into 10A?
He is clear of him, and does Alessandrini make a dive? He does not. And Hausiel going to get it. It's not over yet, though. On the switchback, Alessandrini trying to set up.
Here he comes. He's got him to the inside. Here comes DJ Alessandrini, last year's winner, to the inside of Ken Hausiel. Drag race back to the checkered flag, side by side. DJ noses ahead, and he'll grab the race 1 victory by a nose.
Wow, and that's exactly why you don't count your chickens before they hatch, because Alessandrini's got him in the last 2 corners.
And that is exactly why DJ Alessandrini won this championship last year, because he knows how to time things just right. Have a look, the left-hand side of the screen, the margin of victory, 0.08 of a second for DJ Alessandrini. He has not lost his touch at all. For Ken Hausiel, I'm sure he'll be disappointed with losing the race, but what a drive there. And we're not done yet, folks. Don't go away, because we get to do this all over again in just a few minutes. Let's go back real quick, though, and have a look at the checkered flag. And as they came out of the final corner, the finish that they had, awful close.
Absolutely, you can see how Seal had it right here, and just in the final corner, Alessandrini with the better lines able to scrape on through, push Halcyon, and you see Halcyon tires in the grass.
Trying to get a better look at this here, but it's difficult to try to find it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never set up a like a photo finish camera, because that almost never happens at this track.
It almost never does. But just like that, we've checked on back over to the start of our second race of the night. That quickly. We're going to step away for a break, and we get to go racing again in race number 2 in just a few minutes. Stay with us. We'll be right back for the second race of the night and wrap up round number 5. Welcome back live to the SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Again, my name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian Dcunha from Sim TV. As we line up for our second race of the night, just in a warm-up period now, Ken Seal is going to have a really good night regardless of what happens now, Finian, but just missed out on a race win by 800ths of a second. What does he need to do now to win in race 2? Because DJ is going to be starting on pole. Got to beat him again.
I mean, yeah, we saw right there that Alessandrini, he purposely backed off into turn 10, didn't try to pursue, aggression down into that corner, just so he can set up that run through turns 11 and 12, and did that perfectly. It was a perfect execution for him. I think for Halcyon, the move can definitely work down into turn 10. If anything, if I was him, essentially try to park the bus through that corner to ruin the run that Alessandrini gets, but it's going to be a hard thing to do. He's just got to now, I guess, be careful about DJ getting another opportunity, because 9 times out of 10 the driver is not able to fight back with a pass like that. But again, that 1 out of 10, that driver is Alessandrini.
Yeah, again, DJ is just so good. It's really hard to discount anything, and that's why I say don't wait to the last lap, because I just don't think you're going to outsmart him But we're going to head down to the grid for our second race of the night. We'll take you through the starting lineup in just a moment. But the starting lineup here is exactly what the finishing order was from race 1. So it'll be DJ on the right-hand side of the racetrack. That will be, right or left side and the right side of the track. He won the first race of the night, so he will start in first. Then Ken Seal in second, Paul Darling third, Nathan Saxon in fourth. And on the left-hand side of your screen, there is your starting lineup as we wait for the field to grid. So weather tonight has been relatively cool for Brazelton, Georgia. 70 degrees ambient, 74 degrees track surface. And this is actually one of the few tracks, Finian, that we have gotten to visit in real life here for Sim TV. And the Georgian red soil, I thought that was a myth. It's not a myth, it's a thing. Our rental car had it all over it by the end of the weekend from driving up and down the paddock, and we had to stick the broken bumper back on after breaking the bottom part of the splitter off. That was a hair-raising moment.
Yeah, I was definitely kind of concerning because, like, oh, this is a rental. This is not going to be good. Handing it back like this.
Meanwhile,
luckily it's just plastic and just push it back.
Yeah, well, it worked. I'm glad it did because that would have been an expensive week. It was already expensive already, so glad that worked out. But field heads down the hill once again. If you're just joining us and this is your first time watching a SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge event, Winding Road has so kindly offered us the time and place to run this esports event on their channel, their network. We are not employees of Winding Road magazine, as much as I would probably like to be. They just allow us the time and place to be here. They are sponsoring and supporting these events and putting them on, but we're just here. We're from Sim TV, which is a iRacing broadcasting group, or Sim Racing broadcasting group. We've done work for GT World Challenge America, Grid Life, the SCCA, SPEC MX-5, a whole bunch of organizations that you're probably familiar with, and we've been doing this since 2018, and this is definitely one of the highlights of our broadcasting career, is this group in particular. They put on some amazing races, and if you are not yet subscribed to the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel, you should be, because their normal videos are really cool. The point of view onboard camera shots are always really neat, and we'll also have 4 more rounds of SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge in 2020, Finian.
Yeah, absolutely, and it also doesn't take much effort. It's a red button a little bit below the video, so please hit that for those guys, again, just for giving us this opportunity to present it on a really large platform to everyone else. And these guys, again, as you're saying, they put on some great racing. Case in point, race number 1, and the best part is we got to do it all again for race number 2. And with some pretty heavy hitters back up at the front of the field, especially Chris Henn. We saw him, he was trying to charge up to the front, wasn't able to get there after starting in 10th, and race 1's going to be starting up in 6th. Has a better shot of potentially getting a win here.
Let's go over the stakes one more time for those that have just joined and aren't aware what we're racing for. This is not just racing for bragging rights. There are huge prizes on the line brought to you by Level Up Racing School, Rickmo Tech, and Winding Road Racing. The prizes range from a track day with Level Up Racing School instructing you to a chance to test a SPEC MX-5 Challenge race car. So you'll get a chance to basically step out of the virtual world and into a real race car if you win this 9-round championship in 2020. Our pole sitter did that last year. He's here in a non-points appearance tonight, along with Aaron Johnson, who is a Mazda Teen Scholarship winner. He will start this race back from 15th as we crest the hill in turn number 11. Another 20 minutes on the board for SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge, round number 5 of 2020. 20 minutes as DJ and Ken bring us back to the green flag. Here we go. Green flag flies racing again from Road Atlanta.
For the most part, looking like a much more orderly start here for these drivers heading down into turn 1. Some 3-wide action midfield. Tom Andreski on the inside trying to make some moves up to the front.
So far, so good. Been super impressed with the cleanliness of these starts, and Ryan Cobb has done an excellent job keeping everyone alert and aware of what's going on around them and making sure that we don't have big crashes through the first couple corners. Well done. Drivers from all over the country racing together live in an online environment. It's so difficult to make it go that cleanly, but nice job, everybody there. There is one car off the background. That's Justin Hall. He's had a big impact in the wall at the bottom of the S's, so he'll be our first casualty of this race as we exit turn 5, and Al Sundrin, he pulls away from Halcyon.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the top three is slowly starting to break away from the rest of the field. And this is not what I thought. I would have thought we would have seen a bigger group in this race, but Saxon, Borden, Hen trying to catch back up to our leaders here as they're all trying to break away and keep it amongst themselves.
There's Jesse Stevens, and remember, he started, or actually finished in 13th in race 1 with a very heavily damaged race car, was involved in a collision. He's had so much bad luck, looking for some better luck now. Big mess at the exit of 7. Alexander Lekowitz and Gustavo Pergato. These drivers were near each other earlier tonight, that was a big impact there. Lekowitz got hooked off of Gustavo Pergato's car. And did he get squeezed? A little bit, maybe. But that'll be up to the stewards to decide exactly what will happen there. Again, you just get cars this close, and maybe the 16 could have left him a little bit more space, Finian, but I think there was space there.
Yeah.
So Ryan Cobb will have to make that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been doing a fantastic job as a leading steward for this series. You see Alciel in behind. Alciel was looking like he might have made a pass. We're going to sit in behind, as we typically expect to see here. But you never know. If an opportunity presents itself, you'll be, hard pressed to, not take it. Although that'll be kind of hard. Again, DJ, man who makes very few mistakes, so that's going to be a hard thing to do in the first place.
Down the hill through the S's, very picturesque racing circuit here. Jack Sanchez at the top of the hill has just lost the spot to Sam Scott. Here comes Drew Reinhardt in that orange 69 car on the outside. Going to tuck in line. Very difficult to run through that section side by side, but they've done it successfully. Now the exit of 5, a trouble spot there. Chris Taylor really been taking advantage of all the pavement that they have out there.
Follow-up on the incident with the 64 and the 16, that was Pergato and Lekowitz. No further action will be taken.
Interesting. Okay, so they maybe deem that a racing incident, which is sort of rare. We usually see some sort of blame assigned. It's rare that you have a true racing incident, but no action. So thank you, Finian, and thank you to Ryan Cobb for setting that up for us and letting us know what the deal is. So Alessandrini leads, Hausiel back in second with a run. We'll see if he drives to driver's left or driver's right and has a look.
I'm curious, we might see Ken, maybe this is a good chance to maybe test the waters, try to make some moves on DJ and maybe see how he reacts, or because obviously he only really had that one shot in the last race to see how it would play out. Unfortunately, didn't play out that way, so this could be a chance to test the waters these opening laps of the race.
Paul Darling sits in third, Nathan Saxon behind. Our top 5 has looked pretty similar. One driver that benefits hugely from this reset and starting where he finished, well, look at Chris Hen back in 6th, the postman from New York State. And Chris, pretty good season last year, won a handful of races. And trying to repeat that this season, sits in 6th right now where he started, I believe. Yeah, he hasn't gone anywhere. Just trying to move his way up inside the top 5.
Yeah, one driver who's trying to move up is Luke Pfeiffer, who started up in 5th, has fallen back to 7th after, and made a big error in the last race, missed his shift on the back straightaway, dropped him way out of the top 5, which we're still in, but lost the leading draft. So hoping to make up from that error.
Leaders exit turn number 5. Now you see about a 5-car length gap. Look for third. Paul Darling has Nathan Saxon putting pressure on, and Saxon is looking really racy. I don't think he's going to be satisfied riding back here for too much longer in behind third place Darling. He wants a podium. He's going to have to get it himself, though.
And Saxon has been getting some really good runs out of turn 5. We've been seeing on the last race, had 2 attempts of making a pass into turn 6 on Ken Hausiel, and try to do the same with Paul Darling there. But he's also got to worry about Michael Borden and behind him. Borden made some fantastic passes in the first race, moved himself. Actually started in 7th, finished in 7th, but got past Del Campo and Allen with some great moves through turns 1.
Side by side behind, there's Tony Chow in the 68. He's another driver out of the SCCA and Grid Life community. To the inside of Jesse Stevens into turn 10A. Stevens will squeeze on through. That's for 9th. We'll put him inside the top 10. There's Thomas Bressy. He's waited a little too long to work his way inside the top 10. Has a look. That's real tight as they head down the hill. Just enough space to get the nose in there. And now he runs on the inside of Chow for what will be 10th place. Big jump over the curb. Woo! Chow gave him just enough space.
Yeah, Joe's trying to bully him out of making that move into turn 12, but Bressy still took it and is still going to have a look down into turn 1.
They're still side by side as they climb the hill towards turn 3. Chow has nosed back ahead of Bressy, in behind John D. Allen, who's got a plethora of real-world racing experience in Global MX-5 as well as SPEC MX-5 Challenge. Sits in 12th after starting this race, up in 9th. You hear the gravel spitting across the inside of the car is the Georgia Red Clay. Oh, big slide for Bressy. Did you see the hands in that car, Finian?
Yeah.
That was all sorts of sideways.
So here's the thing. So Thomas Bressy races another series, the Fuel Premier Series on Tuesdays, and I'll call that race last night. He was sliding in that race too, so the man loves to slide on his tires. You can see him leaving track marks up into turn 5.
You gotta run on board. Just watch the hands. We're gonna watch this in super slow motion here as he sets up. Oh, I guess we'll watch this at full speed. Watch his hands. That's full lock back to the right. That is so cool to watch.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing at Phoenix too.
Up in front, Alessandrini Hausiel pushing and pulling. Hausiel really actually is helping DJ right now because he's trying to help him help himself. Ooh, a little offset in the braking zone.
Yeah, I was got really sideways, almost ended up hitting DJ there. That could have gotten awkward, but they're trying to break away from Paul Darling as much as they can. And again, they want the similar situation what they had at the end of race 1, whereas effectively amongst themselves, Darling was a little bit too far out by the final lap to really be a factor. But if he can stick here longer and sticking behind, he could be that third factor that Hausiel's not looking for to see a car retired.
And Sam Scott, here's a look at what happened to him. Entering the braking zone into turn 10A, he was all by himself. Late on the brakes. Oh, blew the motor. Oh. We've seen that happen a number of times. Just downshifted too early, over-revved the engine. That's easy to do. Sam Scott's night is over. No chance to repair that car. It's done.
Yeah, absolutely. After running in a decent spot, he's going to have to bring it back to this. Really unfortunate for him.
Now for race leader Alessandrini. 5 car lengths between himself and Ken Hausiel. Paul Darling sits in 3rd and Nathan Saxon 4th. I think these guys need to team up to beat the invitational driver. You can't let DJ just come in here after not running the first 4 rounds of the season and sweep the night. That would be a disaster for these drivers. They need to go out there and beat him. I don't think they're going to do it alone, though. They have to work together.
That's the thing, because they're trying to beat each other, especially in the standings. So I mean, you could try. It's kind of those situations. Is the enemy of my enemy my friend? Because in this case, the enemy of my enemy is still my enemy.
Well, here's the thing. I think from one perspective, they don't really care about DJ because, again, he's not running for points. So it's not really crucial that they beat him for points. I think it's just more for bragging rights, and they still have to beat each other. But I think they can put DJ between themselves and their competitors and get themselves an extra point bonus. So I think it's really important that they get this job done, and they are losing a little bit of ground now. Behind them, Jesse Stevens and Del Campo side by side. A little bit of a rub there as Del Campo fights off Stevens for 8th.
And Del Campo's been pretty aggressive in these 2 races, but has been getting the job done. Completely squeezed Stevens on the apex of the corner, maybe brushed him just a little bit.
And through turn 12, it's full throttle in these cars. Then the run into turn 1. It's a downshift once, maybe twice. You're going to be into probably 4th gear on the run into turn 1.
Saxon and Darling side by side up into turn 3. Saxon on the move, trying to take 3rd place away. We saw the same situation in race 1. As Borden's all the way behind, gives a little bit of a tap to the 41 as well.
That was really dicey there. Look at Borden in behind. He smells the blood in the water here. Shark fin coming up. You see some damage on the nose of that car. Has he been into the back of somebody?
Yeah, I think that might have been from the little bit of contact we saw with him and Saxon. I don't think we've seen him hit anyone else.
It's so minor. It almost looks fine, but it's just a little scrape on the left front of that hood.
Yeah, with that little commotion down into turn 3, they've lost Ken Hausiel and Alessandrini effectively almost at the same time we saw in race 1.
It looks very similar to what we saw in race 1, just this time Darling is not a part of the party. There he is back in 3rd place. And a couple groups of cars getting sorted out now. The long run down the straightaway. And this is all Hausiel wants, Finney, is just to get himself separated so that the only car he has to deal with is Alessandrini. That significantly makes your job easier. When you only have to beat one car, you don't have to worry about someone else sneaking up from behind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really going to be interesting to see if we saw Darling in the last race too was able to drive back up to Ken Hausiel as he gets sideways out of the final quarter. Now Saxon and Darling going to be side by side through 11 and 12.
Halfway through this race, 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go. Across the line, the gap at the line is 1.5 tenths of a second. And offsets himself slightly, but again, I think he's in here for the long haul, just playing as we have a change for 3rd. No, not quite. Saxon runs out wide. Here comes Borden up the inside lane. Maybe a touch there as they run up to turn 3.
Oh, and Pfeiffer's going to make contact with Borden as they head through turn 3. They're going to door each other. Borden going to keep the spot as Saxon's still pursuing Darling down through the S's.
These cars look very similar. The blue on these cars, just a slightly different shade. The 42 is the lead blue car. The trailing one is Michael Borden. Then it's Chris Henn back in 7th place. He started in 6th. We haven't really seen Chris be... Oh, no! Saxon spins right in front of them. And from 5th place, Saxon will loop it around right in front of Jesse Stevens. He'll get back on track, but just like that, a top 5 running order drops away outside the top 15.
We've seen a lot of drivers respect that turn 5 wall. Unfortunately, Saxon got just a little bit too close to it and out of line.
Yeah, just tagged it enough. Right on board with him here as he just gets too much curb on the inside. The car starts to bounce, hits the curb, unsettles it. Look at him fighting it all the way around.
I remember we saw Ken O'Seal in the first place. He got pretty close with a very similar circumstance. Had to correct, turned the car right, and in O'Seal's case was able to avoid it. For Saxon, wasn't quite.
He did a really good job staying off the racing surface. Meanwhile, for the race lead, O'Seal is there, a car length back, and now they have a 2-second gap. Can they start to play around, or should they wait longer?
No, I would definitely wait longer. Again, you've been pretty much given a gift with that gap, and it's quite big at this point in time. If I'm O'Seal just sitting behind DJ at this point, give him a little bump job if you can. Try to just put more gap to the guys behind you. There you see him give him a little bit of a tap.
Well, and I think there's 2 things that this bump draft can do. Is it can help you grow that gap. The other thing it can do is also distract the lead driver. You spend all your time, DJ especially, practicing, hitting your braking points, not making a mistake even by an inch. You come in 5 miles an hour faster than you did the previous lap, you're going to make a mistake. Maybe that's what Ken is trying to push right now. And 5. This has been such a crucial corner to not mess up. Big jump over the curb on the inside to see the hands catch it. But DJ, cold as ice right now. He's just done such a good job managing this race lead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been the dominant car tonight. O'Seal trying to take that away from him and trying to redeem himself after what happened in race 1. I'm sure he was kicking himself, was so close to victory until DJ robbed him in the last corner.
Well, I think he learned something from race 1. We'll see if he repeats that mistake in race 2. Let's check back in on Aaron Johnson, another one of the invitational drivers not competing for points. To see the damage to the left rear of that car. So he's been hit at some point tonight. He got a Mazda Teen Scholarship driver. Runs in the SCCA Esports Super Tour that runs with us on Thursday nights on the SCCA YouTube channel. Look at how tight this is for the top spot.
Absolutely, and this is what we're talking about, those guys getting really close to one another. And just kind of riding the wave here as the laps are starting to wind down. When they get across the line next time by, it's going to be
4 to go.
It's going to be 4 laps to go.
Yeah, we're running out of laps, and so now the chess match begins. As I always like to say, if you haven't been strategizing yet, it's too late. You have to be thinking 5-6 laps ahead, at least corners ahead, to know where you're going to place your car. It's 2.5 seconds back to Paul Darling, so really just these front 2 are now locked in this mental battle. I don't think it's all about raw pace right now. It's strategic, because both of these drivers have the capability of leading this race, but only one of them is capable of winning this race. We're going to find out which one that is, probably the last corner on the last lap.
Yeah, and again, that really is going to be interesting to see. I would imagine that Ken's learned his lesson and, might try something a little bit different after being put in pretty much the exact same situation as they were in race 1. So he's going to have another attempt. Maybe might pick a different side. Heading down into turn 10, might try something completely different. We'll have to see.
Turn number 6, the right-hander, swing out into turn 7, get the car on the brakes, maybe downshift once. You're still going to be probably 3rd gear here as you climb up onto the back straightaway now for the 9th time, approximately 12 laps in this race. Check back in. Thomas Bresci sits in 10th. John D. Allen back in 11th. They have 1.7 seconds to catch Tony Chow, so Bresci's been unable to close that gap back down and now has a couple cars, Allen, Ficacci, Janson, lining up behind him.
Yeah, again, you're sitting duck down this back straightaway when you're the leading car in a draft.
Oh, for the race lead! For the race lead, here comes Ken O'Seal to the inside. He'll take the top spot away from Alessandrini. Meanwhile, behind him in 3rd, Darling under attack from Borden and Pfeiffer. But interestingly, Ken O'Seal has taken the lead away. The question becomes now, how does DJ manage this race from 2nd?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. The cat has become the mouse. And for Alessandrini, he's got to try now figure out a way back around O'Seal. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Ken's going to play this out now the roles are reversed, and same likewise for Alessandrini, how he's going to make the move happen. I would imagine he's going to set it up through turn 10. We'll have to see. Speaking of a battle, in behind them, there's Borden, as well as Chris Henn and Luke Pfeiffer all battling out through turn 3.
Yeah, this is a great fight, all for about third spot. Darling has that position for now, so now it's the Aquamarine, the teal car.
Oh no! Pfeiffer missed a gear again.
That's going to miss a shift. We saw John D. Allen there, so Pfeiffer going to drop out of that battle as we now have the field starting to split up slightly in this group. We saw John D. Allen holding up. He's gotten through Bresci, but Bresci's all over to Allen now. Kachi's there as well. Big jump, some gravel on the tires of the 24 car.
Yeah, a lot of guys have been really pushing the limits out in turn 5, and now as they head to the back straightaway again for our leaders. Interested in seeing if DJ is going to attack Nerve. He's just going to sit and wait until the final lap. To make his move.
2 laps to go next time by when they get to the line, and DJ Alessandrini has not been in this position. He has not been the chasing car yet tonight, and now he finds himself in that position. Totally changes Ken Ausil's strategy, because now he can't be offensive on the back straight. He's going to have to be defensive, and you only get one move to defend. You cannot change your line in reaction to a trailing driver. You can put your car in a line and you can stay there. That's it. Here comes DJ with another run. I'm curious to see if he'll try to get this lead back or if he'll feel comfortable coming back from behind.
He's going to go way out wide, try to get a good run here out of the final corner, maybe make a move in turn 1 if it's good enough of a run. Here's the run. Ausil going to block a little bit.
Nope, he's going to lift. And downshift once. 2 laps to go.
Ausil missed the corner, went way out wide. Here comes Alessandrini back up the inside, and a big mistake that's going to give the lead back over to DJ into turn 3.
Yeah, turn 1 is such a finicky corner. If you miss the apex even by a foot, it makes your life pretty miserable. So Ausil will drop back into second. I sort of wonder if there was some intention to that. Would you rather? I mean, I think I'd rather be second on the last lap to utilize that draft and be on the offensive.
Could be.
But it didn't really look intentional to me, so who knows?
These guys are playing chess here. Essentially,
I'm not good at chess.
Playing chess.
I'm not good at chess.
I'm not either. I'm absolutely horrible.
I don't think I've ever played chess, actually. I'm not really sure if or checkers.
You haven't played checkers?
Nope. Well, and DJ's played checkers a bunch of times. He drives underneath them all the time. So I had to make that joke.
That was a really good segue.
I'm just saying. This is why they give us the big bucks here, Finian. Down the backstretch, here comes Ken. Driver's right, maybe testing this move for next lap, perhaps.
Could be. We'll see if he yields it or if he's actually going to fall through this move. And what's going to happen here is it looks like almost neither driver wants to be ahead of the other, but someone's got to be ahead here through turn 10. Here we go.
I think DJ's going to yield it. Yeah, DJ's going to yield that spot for now and set himself up for an offensive maneuver, I would imagine. So DJ's going to maybe try to see if he can use the same run again on the rumble strip at the exit of 10B. Now down the hill, they'll see the white flag that signifies one more time around Mission Raceway Road, Atlanta. And this will mean 2.54 miles left of action from SPEC MX-5 SimRacing Challenge in the 5th round of 2020. DJ goes up the outside. There was barely enough space for him to get the car there, but he did it. I'm not sure if it did him a whole lot of good, but it definitely probably spooked Ken just a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta imagine again just mind games between these drivers at the moment, but we're not gonna really see, I think, any real attempt until we get to that back straightaway. That's where it's all gonna go down between just these 2 drivers for the win.
Paul Darling a lonely third, back 3 seconds behind these drivers as they battle for the race lead. Ken didn't run the series last year. DJ did. DJ won the series. Big slide. Both of them all the way out to the wall at the exit of turn 5. That was almost disaster for both of our race leaders. Darling sits 3 seconds back if the front 2 get together. But again, DJ won this series last year. He's not eligible for the prizes. He's just here as an invitational entry. Ausil going for the chance to win, a chance to drive one of these SPEC MX-5 Challenge cars next season. Now down the back straight, Ausil covers to driver's right. Gonna leave DJ with the left. He's got a big run. He should be able to clear by turn 10A, and that leaves Ken with the opportunity to come on back.
We'll have to see, though. Again, he's got to take a little bit of a wider line as we go through turn 9 here as the corner curves. They're going to be effectively equal heading down into here. Who's going to outbrake the other?
Into the braking zone. 94 versus 70. DJ on left. Ausil on right. Through turn 10A. DJ clears him. Ausil tries to set it up. Will he get the run? He's going to have something to work with here as they head down the hill. Checkered flag flies. Can DJ Alessandrini sweep the weekend? Coming back to the checkers, and it will be DJ Alessandrini reliving his 2019 magic. He'll pick up his second win of the night. How Seal just didn't have enough and finishes second, runner-up both times tonight.
Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. And here's the impressive thing, too. No driver, you see the rest of the field come across the line, no other driver has gotten more than 2 wins a season, and DJ just got it done in one night.
I mean, that's why, again, he won last season for a reason. And now Seal can't be disappointed with this, though. It's not going to be race-winning points, but 2 seconds going to be huge for the points.
Yeah, and again, by essentially finishing the second best of the championship runners, he's going to gain quite a few. He's going to expand his points lead back to other important drivers. So this is, again, a really good night, all things considered, for the 94.
Well, yeah, not a race win, but it doesn't matter. The second place belongs to How Seal. And really, you're playing the long game. It doesn't matter where you finish tonight. It matters where you finish at the end of the season. There's DJ Alessandrini in the 91 car, taking home the checkered flag. Both races tonight belong to him. But Ken Ausiel with 2 seconds. Paul Darling, 2/3. Podiums for him. Aaron Johnson, his first time running this series, ends up 13th in race number 2. Chris Taylor with a 15th. Disappointing evenings for Sam Scott, Lekowitz, Gustavo Purgato. Mitchell Peak 31st in race 2, not where he wanted. I don't even believe he actually even started the race in race 2, so not a great night for him either. With that, we're going to step away for just a few minutes. We'll be right back with interviews. We'll talk to DJ Alessandrini, Ken Ausiel, Paul Darling, and more. Stay with us. Welcome back live to the SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge, round number 5 of 2020 from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We're here now with our probably new points leader and second place finisher in both races tonight, Ken Ausiel in the 94 car. Ken, tonight, runner up to DJ. I know you guys are good buddies. You race a lot together, but it's pretty hard to beat DJ. Just walk us through tonight, because you had 2 different opportunities and both times couldn't quite make it stick, but still a pretty solid night for you.
Yeah, pretty solid night. The battling, I felt lots of pressure from behind in race 1 from Nathan. Had to make some moves around Paul, and then the battle with DJ is always a good one. And we were messing around last night, and it was kind of 50-50 between us who was going to get to the line first if we were practicing last lap stuff. So, unfortunately tonight it was 100% in favor of DJ. So.
Well, obviously, a driver coming that is not running for points sort of changes how you race them. Is that how you felt tonight? Did you feel like you could be more aggressive with DJ, or was it more about conserving your own strategy and your own season-long plans to win this championship?
Yeah, I was definitely not going to take any crazy risks. Last night, DJ and I were killing each other a few times, so it was like, let's not do this. I got some points to protect, so. But it's still like I'm gonna push. I want to win. I don't want to lose, so got to push at least a bit.
Well, job well done tonight. 2 second-place finishes, Ken. It's going to put you in a great position for the next round. We'll be at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in 2 weeks, so good luck when we see you there in California.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Got DJ Alcindrini already with us here tonight, and DJ, you won this championship last year. You came right back, and in one night, you have as many wins as anybody else does in the entire season. You have not lost any bit of your skill. Sweeping both races tonight. Walk us through those battles with Ken and Paul.
Oh man, it's always a blast racing with Ken and Paul, and also the rest of the guys in this series. The racing's just so clean, close, and the competition's just so good. I kind of had a little bit of an advantage just because those guys are fighting for points and I'm fighting for glory, and the guy fighting for glory is always going to have the upper hand than the guys that have to worry about the whole season. I was prepared to die at each of those finishes, hopefully by myself. I wouldn't want to take out one of those guys and cause some controversy with how the points ended up, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Road Atlanta is one of my favorite tracks, and I just think this is a great combo, this car and this track.
Well, you were asked earlier this year you had one race that you could run, and you picked this racetrack. When you came into this night, how much practice did you do before this, or is this just one of these places that you just kind of have figured out? I know you've said that in the past that this car drives like a car when you relate it to your real-world experience in Grid Life Touring Cup. So do you do a lot of practice for these events, or do you just jump in here, and is it natural enough where you can make that transition pretty quickly?
After the Grid Life iRacer series finale last night, Ken started up a server, and we just practiced last lap again and again and again, and we came out to be like 50-50 who was in front, and we tried cheeky stuff like in the last lap. I had a feeling Ken was going to try to back me up in turn 7, so I just kind of sat there and waited, and then kind of had an easy run by him. But I knew he was going to do that just from the 20 minutes of practice we had last night. And yeah, we were about 50-50, and I'd say if we probably did 2 more races, Ken might have won those 2.
Well, they say flipping a coin, it gives you a 50-50 chance of getting heads, but that doesn't mean you're going to get 2 heads in a row ever. So Ken just comes up a little bit short, but you win both races in your appearance. Your one time this season. DJ, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck to you. We'll see you tomorrow in the SCCA Esports Super Tour events.
Yep, I'll be there. Thanks, guys. I'll be back in the booth next round.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a little less fun than a steering wheel, but I still have a great time with you guys.
All right, DJ. Hey, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
All right, later. You too.
Yep. Moving on now to Chris Henn. Chris, you got a copy? I didn't actually check if Chris was here or not. I just dragged him in to see. Have a little chat. Doesn't look.
Oh, you dragged him in too?
Yeah, I just dragged him to see if we have no Chris Henn, unfortunately. So. We'll pass on that tonight. I think that'll call. I think we talked to Paul last week, so I think we'll call it there, Finian. But taking one last look at our race results before we end for the evening. What a race! What an evening! I love this track. I love this car. SPEC MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge. Not only is it giving drivers the opportunity of a lifetime to win their chance to drive one of these cars in the real world, they also get a chance to have a really good time.
Yeah, no, this is also one of the cleanest rounds of the season, if I'm not mistaken. There's very few incidents, I think almost none in race 1, and then a few minor ones in race 2. But these guys kept it clean, especially in the opening laps. It's a really hard thing to do. It's so tight through that first sector. These guys did a phenomenal job. It's put on some fantastic show tonight.
It's an amazing show. We want to thank again Ryan Cobb, who's done an amazing job cleaning up these races and making them as good as they are. Really impressive stuff. Thanks to Dave Fitzgerald for taking on all this as well and taking his time and building this series up. And thanks to Tom Martin and Olive Winding Road and SPEC MX-5 Challenge for making this happen. If you're interested in joining, you can check out the frequently asked questions link in the description below this video. If you'd like to support Winding Road Magazine to continue these esports events happening, make sure you hit the subscribe button and head over to Winding Road Magazine's website to learn more about this series. If you want to know more about us, you can find us at simtvbroadcasting.com or youtube.com/simtvbroadcasting. Links are in the description. Thanks so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks on June 24th from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time.